Let's shift gears here, talk a little bit about Apple as well. They have their Worldwide Developers Conference coming up next week, and we always wait to see what they're going to unveil here. We know there's a new operating system, some other things that are going to be expected. What are you most interested in seeing and hearing out of this meeting?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's the software upgrades that we'll see with iOS 16, but actually, I think the biggest news, I think it's on two fronts. One, it's going to be laying out the AR/VR vision, because this is really what I believe is the breadcrumbs that they'll drop to Apple Glass, which is the AR/VR headset that gets released probably later this year, latest in the 2023. And I think the big news, based on all of our work, we believe Apple, has won that. Sunday ticket package, which is really for NFL, the direct TV that expires 2022. It's been a battle versus Amazon, could be worth $2.5 billion a year. This really shows Cook and Cupertino betting on live sports content that could be announced next week. And I think that, that's something that's going to be significant in terms of what it means for the Apple story.
A big part of the Apple story has to be what's happening in retail right now, in the retail stores. And it does look like Apple is moving to try and appease some of its retail workers by doing things like saying you have to have at least 12 hours off between shifts versus the 10 hours they'd had before. They're saying that they're going to cut the work week to say you won't have to work more than 5 days in a row versus 6 that they're expected right now. I mean, those moves sound like ways to try and stave off unionization. What does that tell you? Does it offer any concerns if they're going to be paying more? Does that offer any concerns about the profitability of the company, or you think these are all the right moves and what they should be doing?
I think it's all the right move. And Cook continues to be a tactician, and that's the DNA of Apple in terms of why so many want to work there, from developers to those in the retail stores. And I think they're getting ahead of this. They're listening to their employees, and that continues to be some of the most important parts of Apple, along with the developers. It's a smart move, especially what we're seeing in terms of the employment picture. But from a margin perspective, I mean, look, they generate more cash in some countries, so they have that flexibility. And I think now, even what we'll see next week, they're in a position of strength despite the Category 5 storm that could be on the horizon, at least economically speaking.
The stock's down 15% year to date. You buy it here?
I mean, to me, it's a table pounder here. I think sentiment is way overly negative relative to Street, I think, underestimating the demand picture. And I think if you look at the China situation, we know the supply shortages. I will tell you, over the last week, we've seen improvement on the supply perspective. I think actually slightly better than they've forecasted. We go into iPhone 14 along with the services business. I believe on some of the parts, this is a stock that continues to be a Rock of Gibraltar tech name to own here. And that's what we've been buying, and that's why it remains our top pick.